Now, the British Prime Minister Theresa May is chairing a cabinet meeting in the north of England today as part of a charm offensive to get support for her Brexit plans. Later this week, she'll be in Austria and Estonia in the hope of getting other EU leaders on board. It comes as the new Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab called the EU irresponsible for warning of the risks of a no-deal Brexit on citizens' rights. Speaking on British television, Mr Raab accused the EU of trying to ramp up pressure on the country ahead of a crucial EU summit in October. Last week, he met his EU counterpart Michel Barnier in Brussels for the first time after David Davis quit in protest over Theresa May's Brexit plans. For more on this, let's head live to Westminster now, where Tig Enright is standing by for us. Hi Tig, good to see you there. On the road again, it's the second time she's done this, with the last time being Chequers, which led to 2 major resignations. Can she hope that this time round things will be a bit calmer?
Hi there, Toke. Yeah, I think she can certainly hope the reality might be somewhat different. I mean, I think what's very interesting about this meeting is the rallying call which Theresa May is using. Let's get on with it. Is that type of phrase that her staunchest, hardest Brexit critics have been using for quite some time, what with it being now more than 2 years since the referendum. She's now taken it and tried to make it her own. You're quite right, it is the first meeting since that Chequers meeting a couple of weeks ago, at which she presented, some would say ambushed her ministers with her proposed version of Brexit. There were 2 resignations after that, most notably Boris Johnson and David Davis. And David Davis's replacement as Brexit Secretary, Dominic Raab, also saying in that interview yesterday that indeed not all members of the Cabinet are on board yet with this plan. It's not, of course, just Cabinet members she's to convince, it's members of the public too. It's quite symbolic, I think, that this Cabinet meeting is taking place in the northeast of England. It is Brexit heartland, even if the host city, Newcastle Gateshead, did narrowly vote to remain. But there's nothing narrow about an opinion poll released over the weekend about this Brexit white paper, saying that just 12% of voters think it's a good idea, 43% thinking it's bad, the rest clearly not yet having made up their mind. One thing that Theresa May will have less to worry about from now on, or at least for the summer, is that this place behind me here is going on holidays. So that means no more nail-biting parliamentary votes for a few weeks' time. But it doesn't mean that her critics won't be storing up their ammunition over the summer. David Davis, the former Brexit Secretary, saying that come the autumn, he believes the government will have to simply tear up this white paper and start all over again. But as Theresa May says and realises, the clock is indeed ticking, and that's around the time that she's hoping to have this deal signed, sealed and delivered.
Well, you mentioned that YouGov poll yesterday, which was quite alarming normally, but we've seen in Britain that the polls have been dramatically wrong before. Should she be worried?
I think what she should possibly be even more worried by is a poll of her own supporters and what that means, or her own party. Conservative Home poll over the weekend suggesting that 2/3 of the party think that this plan is a bad idea. One thing she can perhaps count on is that the various factions can be united perhaps by their discontent. Nobody is going to necessarily be pleased by whatever deal is done. Perhaps what she can put forward is the least worst option.
Tig Enright joining us there from Westminster. Thanks for that look ahead to Theresa May's perhaps complicated week as she tries to push her Brexit agenda.